Media engagements of top Pakistan bureaucrats and defense minister talking to CNN, Sky News. On the other side, we saw very little of that engagement on the Indian side. Our defense ministry or any of the ministers did not get really engaged in the international media scenario. What do you think? Why was that? Definitely, I'm sure BBC or other news channels must have approached the Indian ministry for their stance on it. Why didn't they, get connected or get engaged in interviews?
Very apt observation. On the Pakistani side, I saw from day one that the leaders were engaging with international media. They were helping journalists reach Pakistan. They were providing all hospitality. They're giving interviews. Many of the leaders made a lot of faux pas. We noticed that. Still, they were at it. On the Indian side, I cannot say for sure what was the reason, but there was a definite strategy not to engage with international media. And you said rightly, I will not go into the details, but we do try from time to time to get versions from the government. It's not really my job to offer suggestions to the Indian government as to what they should be doing, what strategies they should be adopting. But personally, I feel that the strategy of not engaging with international media, it probably will not benefit that much. And I'll tell you the reason why I believe that. I think there's a bit of a confidence in the Indian security establishment that essentially whatever details the important people need to know, how many positions we have really struck, who emerged victorious in this skirmish, in this conflict, people who need to know, they know. Who would believe that the US or NATO members would not know what kind of destruction must have taken place on the other side, or what kind of damages India may have suffered. That could be one strategy that, there's absolutely no need to go and clarify to others. But, narratives are much bigger things. Even if people in the government in the US, UK, or other NATO members know, that knowledge would be limited to some people as to what really happened. But when it comes to narratives, it's all pervasive. Students, people in academia, normal people, hoi polloi, they would be wondering what is happening. And if they do not get the clear picture, they do not get the clear version from the Indian side, maybe they would find the Pakistani side believable. So essentially, those are people, the youngsters, who would go on to become diplomats someday, policymakers someday. So, what kind of a mindset, what kind of a worldview are you developing? And media has a huge role in playing that. So I feel that, the strategy of not engaging with international media, probably it's not serving that well.
We saw Jammu and Kashmir, which was a hotspot, a tourist hotspot, and there were 26 civilians gunned down very brutally. It's a clear picture of security lapses. What, according to you, sir, should India do to uplift their security? And did the intelligence totally fail during that time? Because we had no information, there was no security, and this time it was in Pahalgam. It could be any other region on tourist destinations. So is it the porous borders or security lapses? What's your take?
No, certainly, on the face of it, you can call it a security lapse, but there is a context to this entire episode that has happened, which one must know. But I'll come to that. I just want to add to why Indian government or Indian interlocutors don't engage with or why the Pakistanis do it. So there is any weaker side will always try and do something unusual. And Pakistan has been known since 1947-48 to use opinions, media, narratives as their weapon of choice. Because they are a weaker side. They are always on the... In fact, in the Pakistan, the narrative about the 1965 war, which has completed 60 years this month, is on 6th of September 1965. Pakistan calls it a victory day. In 1971, when India had actually attacked Lahore, in 1971, then when 93,000 soldiers surrendered in East Pakistan, they were saying, march on till victory. The Dawn headline of the newspaper Dawn was like that. So Pakistan has always tried to deny or live in a make-believe world. And they've always tried to project themselves as the victors. So that's there in their DNA. We can't deny that. Secondly, Pakistan has gone about systematically in the international think tanks, media, academic circles to plant their own people who can pick up a pen or pick up a mic and speak immediately. India hasn't done that. That's a weakness of the Indian system. India doesn't give enough attention to what is called the information war or information influence operations. That's a weakness. And the third point is, the old adage where they say, lie travels half the world before the truth can put on its shoes, which is true in this case also. Ultimately, truth prevails. Everyone knows what destruction India has done. That happens. But in today's world where information travels the speed of lightning, you do feel that India is slow in catching up with Pakistan. That's what I just wanted to comment. The younger people here should know how this works. But you asked me about the security lapse. Certainly. But how does security lapse occur? It's not as if there is no information. If you go back to last 2 years in Jammu and Kashmir, there have been sporadic incidents of killing of security forces. 2 or 3 people, 2 soldiers, 2 yatris in Amarnath or whatever in the last 2-3 years. But Pakistan was seeing this as not making enough impact. Jammu and Kashmir was being normalized as any other state in India. It was becoming tourist friendly. 2.5 crore or nearly 3 crore tourists were traveling to Jammu and Kashmir. It was Pakistan was losing the perception game as far as Jammu and Kashmir was concerned. It needed to do something big. And let me tell you, having watched the space of terrorism, counter-terrorism and military and militants, the militants or the terrorists have to succeed only once. So we don't get to know how many times such terrorist attacks have been prevented, because the intelligence agencies, security forces cannot speak about it. I'm sure there were at least 20 odd, 25 odd incidents where such cells or such groups of terrorists were either picked up or prevented from carrying out attacks. They have to succeed once, which they did, which is a lapse on the part of security forces. But also look at the challenge that when you have a tourist-friendly place, you don't want to have overwhelming presence of security forces there and put people off. So this will happen. I'm not saying it is pardonable, but also see the whole context. Having done that, in the battle for battle of terrorists versus the state, it's not what the terrorists do. That is certainly important, and you have to always try and prevent that. But it is important how you react to it. Have you gone and punished the perpetrators of the terrorism enough and deterred them at least for the next 2-3 years? Yes, India has done that. Balakot may not have prevented, but Balakot gave you 6 years space, right? After what happened in Pulwama, India carried out the Balakot attack.
But sir, what is the permanent solution to it?
There is no permanent solution to Pakistan, because Pakistan is only state of Pakistan's mind is to try and be a nuisance to India. India is growing much faster. So we have to live with it. It's like a monkey on our back. I always call Pakistan like a monkey on our back. We'll have to suffer some of the losses like this. Minimizing the losses is the trick. How many losses can you prevent? Because your main adversary is China and not Pakistan. I think we get overly obsessed with Pakistan, but the security establishment is looking at China as the bigger adversary than Pakistan. Pakistan is a challenge which we will deal with. Sometimes we'll lose. You win some, you lose some. That's the game, name of the game as far as terrorism or counter-terrorism is concerned. I think we should know this. Our people should be told about this. Unfortunately, the governments don't say this openly. You admit your lapses, your faults, and then try and improve it the next time.
What is the situation with Arunachal-China border, and how should India take up the, national security on that?
Well,
front?
I think that's why I said, like last 10, say from 2013 onwards, frankly, Indian military establishments' complete orientation has gone towards the northern border. And they are looking at China as the primary adversary, Pakistan as the secondary adversary. When they get together, there is a challenge. So we have to meet that challenge. Today we have to prepare for the Chinese challenge. Despite all the bonhomie and the thaw that we see, it's temporary. It's what I call tactical adjustment with China that we are doing, because we have a challenge from the US also. There is a unhinged man sitting in the White House who's creating challenges every day. So you have to live with it. This is the world, real world, where you cannot have ideal situations. So you sort of have nimble-footed diplomacy, military strategies, and that's how you do it.
বেবিটিৰ ৰেশেছ নাই কাৰণ অলপ মানুহ টিটি থকা নাই হে কেৱল প্যাম্পাৰ্স নহয় কোনো কম দামৰ ডাইপাৰ কাৰণ প্যাম্পাৰ্সত আছে ভিটামিন ই আৰু এলো লোশন যুক্ত এন্টি ৰেশ ব্ল্যাঙ্কেট যি স্কিন ৰাখে সামান্যতম আৰ্দ্ৰতাৰ পৰাও দূৰত 100% পৰ্যন্ত ৰেশ ফ্ৰী ৰাতিৰ বাবে বাৰু আপোনাৰ